The Middle Path, Unlocking Your Inner Peace Through Spiritual Awakening. The journey begins, the seeds of awakening. Imagine for a moment that you're walking a winding path in a forest. The air is crisp, the birds sing softly, and yet there's a pull inside of you, a deep longing for something more.
This is where we all begin. Each of us at some point feels the weight of life's chaos, the unanswered questions, and the search for meaning.
What if I told you that this longing is not a void, but an invitation to walk the middle path, a journey that balances the extremes of life and unlocks a wellspring of inner peace? We start with a question: are you truly living or merely existing? Pause for a moment to feel the gravity of this question. You see, life often pushes us into extremes, chasing wealth, success, or pleasure on one side, or retreating into despair, apathy, or numbness on the other. The middle path isn't about mediocrity or settling, it's about harmony. It's about finding clarity in the noise, stillness in the storm, and balance in the tension of opposites. To embark on this path, we must first confront our attachments. Ask yourself, what am I clinging to?
Is it a desire for recognition, material possessions, or even your own idea of who you are?
These attachments are like weights on a balloon, keeping it from rising. The middle path begins when you loosen these ties, not by rejecting the world, but by changing your relationship with it.
Let me share something deeply personal. When I first began exploring the middle path, I thought peace was something I had to achieve, like a trophy or a medal. But the deeper I ventured, the more I realized that peace isn't an achievement. It's a remembrance. It's the recognition of a truth that's already within you. Think about that for a moment. What if the peace you're searching for has been with you all along, hidden beneath layers of distraction and fear?
So how do we uncover it? Start small. Sit in silence for 5 minutes every day. Let your mind wander, but observe it without judgment. This practice, though simple, is profound. It's like clearing a fogged-up window. You begin to see life as it is, not as you think it should be. But beware, this is not always easy. There will be resistance. Your mind will scream for entertainment, for validation, for escape. When that happens, ask yourself, what am I running from? Often the things we avoid, pain, failure, loneliness, hold the keys to our liberation. By sitting with them, by breathing through them, we discover they are not monsters but misunderstood parts of ourselves.
They're not monsters but misunderstood parts of ourselves.
As you walk this path, you may notice a shift. The things that once defined you, your job, your possessions, even your struggles, begin to lose their grip. This isn't a loss, it's freedom. And with that freedom comes a profound question. If I am not my thoughts, my possessions, or my achievements, then who am I? Hold on to this question. It's not meant to be answered quickly, it's a doorway to deeper understanding. The middle path isn't about avoiding life's pleasures or pains, but embracing them with equanimity. When joy comes, welcome it fully, knowing it is fleeting. When sorrow arrives, greet it with compassion, for it too shall pass. This is the essence of balance. Life becomes less about controlling the waves and more about learning to surf them. But let me leave you with this thought as we transition to the next phase. What if your greatest strength lies not in fighting the storm, but in standing still and letting it pass through you? The answer to this question is where the next part of our journey begins.
What if your greatest strength lies not in fighting the storm, but in standing still and letting it pass through you?
The inner storm, facing chaos to discover harmony. Let's dive deeper into the storm. the chaos that brews within us. Life, in all its unpredictability, often feels like an unrelenting tempest. But what if I told you that this storm isn't an enemy to be conquered, but a teacher to be embraced? The middle path teaches us that every storm has its eye, a place of stillness amidst the chaos. The challenge is not to outrun the storm, but to find its center. Let's start with a reflection. What is the storm in your life right now?
Perhaps it's a demanding job, a troubled relationship, or an inner conflict that gnaws at your peace. Whatever it is, acknowledge it without resistance. Denial only strengthens the storm. Acceptance is the first step toward harmony.
You see, our greatest struggles often stem not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. We label experiences as good or bad, desirable or undesirable, and in doing so, we create inner turmoil. The middle path invites us to transcend these dualities. It whispers, what if life isn't happening to you but for you? What lessons might your struggles hold if you were willing to look deeper?
Consider this metaphor. Imagine holding a glass of water. The longer you hold it, the heavier it feels. The weight hasn't changed, but your resistance has grown. Life's challenges are much the same. When you carry them with resistance, they become unbearable. But when you set them down, even briefly, you realize they are manageable.
This is the essence of surrender, not as defeat, but as a conscious release of resistance. Now let's talk about fear. Fear is often the loudest voice in the storm. It tells you to run, to hide, to avoid. But here's a question. What is fear protecting you from?
At its core, fear is a guardian of the familiar. It resists change because change threatens the known. But growth only happens in the unknown. To walk the middle path, you must learn to walk hand in hand with fear, not as an adversary, but as a companion.
One practice that can help is the art of sitting with your fear. The next time you feel overwhelmed, pause. Close your eyes and ask, what am I afraid of right now? Let the fear rise. Name it. Feel it in your body. Notice its texture, its weight, its rhythm. By observing fear without judgment, you strip it of its power. It becomes not a monster, but a messenger, pointing you toward the areas of your life that need healing. The storm also brings with it the question of control. We cling to the illusion that we can control life, but this only deepens our suffering. Ask yourself, what am I trying to control that I cannot? The answer might surprise you. It might be the behavior of a loved one, the outcome of a project, or even the passage of time. The middle path invites us to release this need for control. It doesn't mean giving up. It means focusing your energy on what you can influence and trusting the rest to unfold as it must. But surrendering control requires trust. A trust in life, in yourself, and in the greater flow of existence. And this trust raises a profound question. Do you believe the universe is working against you or for you? Your answer to this question will shape your experience of life. When you trust that life is unfolding for your growth and awakening, even the storms become sacred.
The middle path is not passive. It requires courage, discipline, and presence. It's about showing up fully, even when the storm rages. When you feel overwhelmed, return to your breath. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Feel the life force within you. This simple act connects you to the present moment, where the storm loses its grip.
In the heart of the storm, you may encounter what many call the dark night of the soul. This is a period of profound inner struggle where the illusions of the ego are stripped away, leaving you feeling lost and exposed. It's a painful process, but also a necessary one. Like a seed buried in the soil, you must break open before you can grow. When you find yourself in this dark night, remember, it's not the end, but a beginning. The pain you feel is not punishment, but transformation.
Ask yourself, what part of me is ready to be released? What new part of me is being born? These questions guide you through the darkness and toward the light.
As we near the end of this part, let me leave you with this thought. The storm is not your enemy. It is the fire that forges your strength, the wind that clears your path, and the rain that nourishes your soul. What if the storm isn't here to break you, but to make you whole? As we walk further along the middle path, we come to its essence, stillness. Not the stillness of inactivity or stagnation, but the stillness that exists at the core of all movement, like the silent center of a turning wheel. This stillness is not something to be created, it's something to be uncovered. It is already within you, waiting to be awakened. Close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time I truly felt still? Not just physically still, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. For many of us, the answer is elusive. The world moves so fast, demanding our attention, our energy, our very selves, but the middle path invites us to step off this treadmill, even briefly, to reconnect with the timeless stillness within. This stillness is the birthplace of peace. And peace, contrary to popular belief, is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of understanding. To find peace, you must first cultivate understanding of yourself, of others, of life itself. Ask yourself, what part of me have I been avoiding or misunderstanding? Perhaps it's a painful memory, a hidden fear, or a part of your personality you've deemed unacceptable. The middle path calls you to embrace all parts of yourself, for nothing in you is unworthy of love. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools for awakening this stillness. But let's demystify meditation. It's not about achieving a blank mind or floating on some ethereal plane. It's about being present.
Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Breathe naturally. As thoughts arise, and they will, observe them without attachment. Imagine them as clouds passing through the sky. They are not you, they are simply visitors.
In this practice, you begin to touch the stillness beneath the thoughts, a stillness that is always there, waiting. As you deepen into this stillness, something remarkable happens. You start to see life more clearly. The noise of the mind quiets, and in that quiet, you notice things you've overlooked. Simple joys, subtle connections, profound truths. You begin to see that life is not a series of problems to solve, but a mystery to embrace. Ask yourself, what beauty in my life have I been too busy to see? This stillness also transforms your relationship with time. In our everyday lives, we are often either reliving the past or worrying about the future, but in stillness, you realize that the past is gone and the future is not yet here. All that exists is this moment, and in this moment, everything is enough. This realization is not just liberating, it's transformative. It shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance, from fear to love. Stillness, however, is not about withdrawing from the world. It's about engaging with it more fully, more authentically. When you act from a place of stillness, your actions are no longer driven by fear or desire, but by clarity and compassion. Imagine this: you're in a heated argument. Instead of reacting impulsively, you pause, breathe, and respond from your still center. This response, born of stillness, has the power to dissolve conflict and create understanding. Ask yourself, what would my life look like if I responded to challenges from stillness rather than reactivity? The middle path teaches us that true power lies not in controlling others, but in mastering ourselves. And this mastery begins with stillness. From stillness, you gain the strength to face life's storms, the wisdom to navigate its complexities, and the courage to follow your truth. But most importantly, from stillness, you gain the ability to love, not the conditional, transactional love we often see, but a love that flows freely, without expectation. This love is the essence of the middle path.
This love is the essence of the middle path.
As we near the end of this journey, let's return to the question we began with. Are you truly living or merely existing? The middle path doesn't promise a life free of challenges, but it does offer a life full of meaning, connection, and peace. It offers a way to navigate the chaos without losing yourself, to find balance in a world of extremes, to awaken the stillness within. Let me leave you with one final question. What if the path to your greatest peace begins with your next breath? Close your eyes, inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Feel the life within you, the stillness beneath it all. This is the middle path. This is your path. Thank you for walking this journey with me. May you find the peace you seek and the stillness that has always been yours.